Welcome to Plugged In, a special program produced by Edison about all things related to energy and how that affects more than 9 million people in New York City and Westchester County. I'm your host, Sidney Alvarez. We got another great show lined up for you. First up, winter's coming. Do you know what it takes to make your home energy smart when it comes to heating your space? We'll show you how, plus easy ways to save money. It's the most famous skyline in the world, but without Con Edison, Manhattan would have a whole different look. We'll explain. Gas detectors can save your life. Do you have one? We're going to tell you about a program to make your home safer. Nor'easters seem to be more common these days. Is this the new weather trend? Are you ready? Plus, rev up your engines. These college students and future engineers are building race cars that go 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds. It's all part of their education. All this and much more. So let's get started. Severe winter storms knock down trees and power lines and cause widespread power outages. But new technologies, strategies, and equipment investments are helping make restoration faster. Alfonso Quiroz has this story.
After a sudden storm hit Westchester County back in March 2018, Con Edison is pumping in over $100 million over the next 4 years to strengthen poles, improve communication, and upgrade technology. Con Edison's Tim Cawley, along with municipal leaders from Westchester County, gather together to meet about new infrastructure upgrades that the company is implementing.
So following the March events, very severe storms that impacted our customers in the system, we embarked on improvement initiatives with input from the municipalities and United Westchester. As a result, we're going to invest $100 million to make the system more resilient. We'll also embark on a number of other initiatives to improve storm performance and our response and communications during these storm events.
The $100 million will go to stronger poles, smart switches, and stronger cable systems that can withstand the events of wind and rain.
Most of the damage was caused by tree uproot or damage and falling from the trunk. 70% of those trees were on customer property. So we've embarked on a pilot program with Cortland to work with the municipality and customers to remove those trees. It's a $2 million investment pilot, and we'll see where that takes us with the likelihood that we would expand that to other parts.
Many of these new upgrades and enhancements were made as a result of recommendations from elected officials and community leaders in Westchester County.
Trees. They're beautiful and can make any neighborhood look picturesque and attractive. We hire professional foresters and arborists who are specially trained in preserving tree health and using correct pruning guidelines.
Meet Scott Murata. He's the Con Edison tree expert.
So this tree over here is a red oak tree. It's been identified as a hazardous tree. As you can see, there's some dead limbs. This tree is severely declining.
Scott's job is to make sure electricity remains reliable by helping to spot hazardous trees that could potentially fall on power lines.
A tree like this one here, if it happens to come down, you're not only going to affect power to that one customer that the tree happens to be in front of, but it also could affect hundreds of other customers in the area.
Con Edison is launching a new pilot program to help customers identify hazardous trees within their property.
And if we find that there's a tree in decline, we'll go ask the customer, whether the municipality or the customer itself, if we can remove that tree. No cost to them.
This program stems from 2 back-to-back nor'easters that devastated Westchester County. The storms brought down hundreds of hazardous trees on overhead power lines, causing widespread outages and impassable roads. This new pilot program will help improve reliability and limit the amount of outage times.
So striking that balance is very important to me because I really do care for the trees. I'm an environmental scientist by my degree, and it's very important to me.
Will this winter be more severe than past years? Will we experience more nor'easters and blizzards? And what can you do to protect and prepare yourself? We sat down with our in-house meteorologist and our emergency preparedness expert to get the information. So we're joined now by two Con Edison experts, our meteorologist, Mike Berlinger, and one of our emergency management experts, Chris Chikarides. Thanks for being on the show, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
So Mike, I want to start with you. You know, bottom line, winter's coming. We want to know, is it going to be a more severe winter, more snow, colder? What's the story?
Right now our forecast is for a near to below normal temperature winter with near to above normal snowfall. So we are kind of hedging our bets that way. There are a lot of things that we look at to do these forecasts that are pointing towards a colder and snowier winter for us.
One thing that I wanted to touch on was these concepts of a polar vortex, Siberian snowfall. What does this mean, and how does it impact New York City?
There's been a study where it links the snowfall across Siberia in the fall to use as a forecaster for how much snow we will see across North America for the entire winter. It works sometimes, it doesn't work all of the time, but it's something that's kind of thrown out there that we kind of keep an eye on, is how much snow has Siberia seen as we get into the fall.
So this is a great segue into Chris. So tell us, in your opinion, what's the most important thing that the general public can do when it comes to severe weather?
Listen to Mike, listen to your meteorologist. Heed the warnings of bad weather coming to the area. We have a great group of employees here at Con Ed that will turn around and staff around the clock. We'll have enough people on call to respond to emergencies and outages as they come in.
What about the general public? Any tips for them aside from heeding warnings? What can they do when they're at home and there's a severe situation going on?
A go bag, basically any knapsack, and you have important information in there. Could be account numbers, policy numbers, insurance policies for the home, cash, because if there is no power, credit cards won't work, so make sure you have cash on hand. Have gas in your car. Make sure you have enough of sustainable food to last anywhere from 5 to 7 days.
What about from a safety component? We always hear, and we're always warning, stay away from down power lines. Let's talk about that.
Stay away from any wire, because it may not be an electric wire. It may belong to a different utility. We don't know if it's energized from our infrastructure. It may be energized from their infrastructure. If you see a wire, call it in. You can call 1-800-75-CON-ED, or you can call your other local utilities.
Chris, Mike, thank you very much for joining us. Great advice.
Thanks for having us.
Now's the time to winterize your home in preparation for the heating season. Con Edison has 6 easy tips to help you stay warm while saving money this winter. And joining us is Caroline Bukowski. She is our in-house energy expert. Caroline, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, first tip, I want to talk a little bit about smart thermostats. Tell us why.
So smart thermostats, they really help you monitor your energy use on a day-to-day basis.
What about temperature and maybe just lowering a little bit the thermostat?
Yeah, so during the winter, you want to make sure that you keep your thermostat around 68 degrees. For every degree you go above 68, it'll increase your energy by 3%.
What about rebates? It's the shopping season.
So smart thermostats are a large area you can get some rebates at. Con Edison will offer a $50 rebate for every smart thermostat you purchase.
The big word that everybody throws around. Tell us about Energy Star products.
So Energy Star products are certified to meet a specific energy efficiency rating. This is important because you know that they're running efficient to lower how much energy you use on a day-to-day basis. With winter coming up, it's a really good time to take a look at your heating system. First, just doing minor maintenance on it, cleaning your vents, any filters that you could have, making sure that if you need a tune-up, you're looking into it. Another thing is to kind of get ahead of the game. You don't want to be stuck with a broken boiler furnace in the middle of winter and it's snowing and your contractor can't get to you. So now's a good time, if you have old equipment, to go to your contractor and ask them, can I look at what new Energy Star products could be?
What about a tip? A simple tip for people at home having to do with washing their clothes.
We give the tip of washing your clothes in cold weather. One, it'll make sure that you don't lose any color in your clothes, but second, it'll decrease the amount of energy usage for every wash by 50%. So Con Ed has a marketplace. This is marketplace.coned.com, where customers can go and look at all energy efficient products and appliances and just kind of see what their price points are, what is even out there, just so you become more aware.
Absolutely, and there's hundreds of tips on our website at coned.com. Thank you very much for being on the show. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great tips and suggestions. Now it's time for a quick break, and when we come back, it's a proven fact, gas detectors can save your life. Find out what we're doing as a company to help New Yorkers when it comes to gas safety. Plus, it's not just electricity that powers New York City. In fact, steam is used to power the most iconic buildings. Find out why as we take a STEAM 101 lesson. And help defeat hunger. See how some community organizations are working together to produce more than 1 million meals. That and more after this important message.
You are the energy of New York. You have the power to make it sustainable for the future. Con Edison has the energy efficiency programs to help. Together, we've helped New York have the cleanest air in 50 years. Imagine what we can do in the next 50. Start saving now at coned.com/energy savings.
Con Edison has started to install new natural gas detectors that will communicate directly with our gas control room. It's an extra layer of protection. Alfonso Quiroz also has this story.
Con Edison came today and installed a device next to my gas meter that detects gas leaks in my basement and communicates the information back to Con Edison through my electric meter. I heard about the installation of these detectors in my neighborhood, and so I called Con Edison to make an appointment. There was no cost to me at all. No, none. Yeah, it was free. It seemed very simple. The man came into my basement and attached a small box detector next to my gas meter to the pipes attached to it with just a zip tie.
Smart natural gas detector is a one-of-a-kind, brand new technology that no other utility is using at this time that we've developed.
It will send the signal directly to Con Edison.
And then we can respond both with our fire department and our crews as quickly as possible.
The purpose of the device is to monitor the area in which the gas enters the premise. So once the device is installed, if it happens to alarm because it is detecting gas in air, it will have an audio message.
Danger. Gas leak explosion risk. Evacuate, then call 911.
The pilot program is going to be mainly in Westchester and Lower Manhattan. So we are monitoring our own gas, we're monitoring our own meters and pipes. So this allows us to respond in a more efficient way. It will tell us where the leak is at. So this is also more efficient and is new in the industry. We're trying to be proactive.
Not only are we leveraging the already existing smart network, but we're going to use it for a safety device for our communities and our customers.
Having somebody detecting gas leaks and paying attention to that takes a lot of worry off of my mind. I don't even have to think about the detector in my basement. They notify Con Edison notifies the fire department, and then they arrive. So I could be home, I could not be home. Either way, they're going to remedy the situation for me. It's fantastic.
Did you know we operate the largest steam energy system in the United States? It's all right here in Manhattan. Here's your STEAM 101. Joining us to tell us more is Paulina Marinkovic. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I did. Okay, good. I worked on that. She's with our STEAM department, and you're here to tell us a little bit more about STEAM, or to give us our own STEAM 101. Thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
So, when I think of STEAM, I think about the water that I'm boiling on my stove. Is it kind of the same concept?
That is correct. It is the same concept. The difference is that this is at a very large scale. So we have in Manhattan, we are powering the city utilizing 4 of our power plants that we own and operate in Manhattan, also one in Queens. So all the steam being generated at these stations get distributed through 105 miles of piping underground Manhattan. And that is used for heating, hot water, dehumidification, sterilization, and also for cooling on the hottest days of the year. Actually, steam is very clean, and we have cogeneration power plants. That means that we are simultaneously generating electricity and steam, and that decreases the cost for customers and also decreases the amount of emissions we have into the atmosphere.
When I learned I was going to be doing this story and I looked into the steam system, and it's been around for 136 years. It's truly influenced the landscape of Manhattan, right? Can you tell us how and why?
Definitely, that's correct. We've been around for over a century. And the way that we have influenced, Con Edison steam has influenced the skyline is that it enables architectural freedom. Why is that? Because Con Edison steam is delivered directly to the buildings. That means that there is no equipment necessary like boilers and burners to be installed in the building using all that space. So it frees up the space.
What's the future of steam? What's coming up with you guys? What's coming up along the pipes, so to speak?
Well, we have a couple of projects lined up, but our closest one, which we've already partly powered on, is our latest project, the Brookfield. And that is a 7 million square foot building, retail office space and hotel real estate. Yeah.
And before I let you go, I understand that it's, please correct me if I'm wrong, 3 million people, 3 million customers use steam in Manhattan.
So 3 million New Yorkers rely on Con Edison steam for their needs. So that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Thank you very much again, Paulina. It was an absolute pleasure.
Hey, the holidays are upon us, and it's the season of giving, but let me introduce you to a group that works all year round to fight hunger. Here's their story.
Rain or shine, farmer Doug DeCandia seems to work round the clock. Today he's harvesting kale at the Fanwoods Food Bank garden.
There's lots of things that actually are much better to harvest when it's not sunny, when it's raining like this.
Doug works for Feeding Westchester. The crops grown here in this garden, which is located on the campus of the New York School for the Deaf, will be used to help feed county-wide residents in need. School Superintendent Dr. Bradley Porcher says it's a win-win partnership.
I think it's very important that our organizations work together. The New York School for the Deaf, Fanwood, Con Ed, and Feeding Westchester. Really, for our part, it's so important for our students because we want them to be able to apply what they learn, the skills that they learn. It's important that they learn to work with the community and provide to others who are in need.
The harvested food ends up right here at this 25,000 square foot processing and delivering center. More than 200,000 county residents who struggle with hunger get assisted.
We're on pace this year to distribute more than 10 million pounds, or nearly 9 million good nutritious meals to people who need it.
September is Hunger Action Month, and not only does Con Edison offer its financial and volunteer support to its community partners like Feeding Westchester, but it also will be lighting its iconic Manhattan clock tower orange for symbolic awareness. And back here at the Fanwoods Garden, despite all the rain, the work continues because everyone has a role to play in ending hunger.
The more ways, the more people that are talking about this, the better it is, I think. We live in a time where it's too easy to not think about where food comes from.
It's time for another break, and when we come back, you got the need for speed? How about 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds? Is that fast enough? Learn what goes into making a Formula One race car. How about a cook-off among firefighters? Who's the best, and why is Con Edison helping out? All that after the break.
I felt the need to join. I always wanted to join. There was no other thoughts. I decided that I wanted to go to the Naval Academy.
So I served 4 years in the United States Marine Corps Infantry active duty, and then I did another 4 years in the Air National Guard.
This Veterans Day, Con Edison continues to honor its military employees for proudly serving our country.
I will tell you, upon walking in this room, I am just incredibly proud, unbelievably appreciative, and tremendously humbled.
Addressing the audience, guest speaker, retired Captain Florent Groberg. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor from President Barack Obama for tackling a suicide bomber in Afghanistan.
My guys did exactly what they were supposed to do at that specific moment, so everybody played a role, which is why we saved lives. But unfortunately, the reality is, we weren't, at least I wasn't, and good enough to save everyone, and so that's something you live with, and it's going to be with me the rest of my life.
Captain Groberg passed along his Medal of Honor into the audience. He says it belongs to all military members.
I think it's great for folks to be able to see it, touch it, feel it. I never seen it before like that, so it's just, it's theirs as much as mine, in my opinion, so why not share it with the world?
Con Edison has more than 700 employees who are veterans or still serving in the reserves and National Guard.
It's a sense of pride. When you're in the military, it's a tight-knit group. It's like your brothers and sisters that you serve with, and then once you leave the military, you miss that.
It speaks to how far the company's come, to supporting veterans in the company, and it builds that camaraderie that I once had in the military, and now we're working on building that in the company with fellow employees, so it was awesome. Very proud.
We've all seen Con Edison crews working on the streets 24 hours a day, maintaining our energy system. But have you ever thought what it's like to actually work for the power company? Alfonso is here to tell us about a new segment of the show we're calling Power Jobs.
That's right, Sid. One of those employees named Mike Zanelli actually gets up at 4 a.m. to start his work shift on Staten Island. And many times he doesn't even get home until late at night. But according to Mike, he wouldn't have it any other way.
My day begins at 4 a.m. I come from upstate New York. I'm a high voltage lineman. Been working here 10 years. I'm extremely proud of the work I do. We're all a family. So we're all watching each other's backs. If we don't, someone can die. Overhead shift here on Staten Island begins before all the other departments. We all meet in the muster room and go over our daily tailboard, which is the job for the day, scope of the job, what materials we need. We try to plan everything as much as we can ahead of time. Given the job we're doing, there's unforeseen circumstances that we can run into. You never know. Then we go out and we start getting those materials, and we load the trucks up, we head out. There's a lot involved in doing this job, and there's a lot of training involved. I went up to a school that taught overhead. It was a New York State electric and gas approved class, and it was sent to a blitz school for Con Edison. Basically, everything we'll do on a job, we have to do it in training prior to being out in the field and doing it for customers. When people are out of power, I know how it feels. I've been out of power, and I know how urgent it is to get it back. People rely on our utility. It's very nice when you put them back on, you see all the lights on the block go on all at the same time. It's a very satisfying feeling. I'm married to Amy Zanelli. It's my wife, my lovely wife. I have an 8-year-old son. They are my world. Everything I come here and do everything for them.
We all love to eat, and who doesn't like a good old-fashioned cook-off? But what does that have to do with the power company? Alfonso is back to tell us more.
That's right, Sid. We had food, firefighters, and a whole lot of fun at this cook-off in Lower Manhattan, where 30 of our employees came out to give a helping hand. Con Edison employees gathered together at the historic Federal Hall in Lower Manhattan to volunteer for this cook-off to benefit World Care Center, a group dedicated to empowering and educating the public to respond to natural disasters and other moments of crisis.
We are at a power giving event where Con Edison has provided volunteers to assist with the World Cares Organization annual cook-off event, Iron Skillet event, in which they partner up local FDNY members with chefs from major organizations, and they compete against each other in celebration of the first responders that came together during the 9/11 event.
Over 17 years, we have grown to honor and protect our ready responders, and that includes citizens who want to help, first responders whose profession it is to help, and everybody in between.
We're first responders as well, and now we're giving back to some of our first responders that we also work with.
And we have judges that will taste the food and decide a winner. It smells good in here.
I like the fact that World Cares, are helping people.
It's more than just helping people. Some employees believe that it's helping with coworker camaraderie.
Oh, absolutely. I think it helps us get to know each other better, and that we have shared values and we understand other things about each other outside of the office. It really helps us work together in a much better way.
They come in a group, they're fantastic, they know the drill.
How many of you can build a race car that goes from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds? Well, sit back. We got a group of college engineering students who can do that and a whole lot more.
Rev up your engines. These students have the need for speed.
We can go 0 to 60 in about 2.2 seconds, and we go cornering faster than about any other car you've probably ever driven.
These Cooper Union College students built this Formula One style race car with Con Edison engineers as mentors.
The students get a lot of practice, and they're also learning how to reach out and use other people as resources.
Through the team, we get a little hands-on experience, and it's really close to what a professional engineering looks like.
Today, it's about testing their work, getting ready for their 2019 competition.
We gather data with data acquisition systems on the car. We learn how we can reduce weight, increase the power output of our engine, how we can make the car more aerodynamic, more friendly towards the driver.
We do a business presentation, design presentation, cost report. There's a lot that goes into it in addition to getting it to be drivable.
Con Edison's been involved with the Cooper Union Motor program for more than 10 years, part of their STEM education outreach initiatives.
It makes us better engineers, and Con Edison is training the next generation of engineers, artists, and architects to go out and make the world a better place. And I think that's really what our partnership with Con Ed has always been about.
Well, now you're plugged in. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. If you have comments about our show or questions about the program, you can reach us on our social media channels. That's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Our handle is @ConEdison. I'm Sidney Alvarez. Thanks for watching, and until next time.